Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Chess of Obscurity. Today, we are looking at a game that went through a lot of changes, but it stayed under one series. And surprisingly, since I've done Axley, you guys may have heard of this title. And some of you have heard of it under a different name. Salamander 2. You know it over here as Lifeforce. Now this one is different because, well, as you can tell, it does not play. It doesn't play like, say, Gradius. It doesn't play like Salamander 1, which is called Lifeforce. But yet, it does have the familiarity of the two I mentioned. Now, what most people don't know is that, you might be wondering, what is Salamander? Salamander is actually a spin-off of Gradius. Just like people have been wondering, well, it asks the question, well, what happened to Gradius II? We did get a Gradius II. See, what most people don't get is that Gradius II was Gabo yo no Yaibo. Go for no Yaibo. I may be wrong on that, but I do believe we had something close to a Gradius 2 on the Game Boy. It was called the Interstellar Assault. At least what's different with this is that everything just straight up upgrades. Unlike with Gradius, in which you have a certain bar which you can collect power-ups and choose which ones you have. Well, as you can tell, You can change up on basically everything here. Just by picking which missile you want, which laser you want. Oh, another thing. The one thing you can also do is you can fire off your options, which has never been done in any other Gradius game. Now I find this pretty interesting because all other games picked up on that. I think the only ones I feel were justified was the Hudson shooters. Because the Hudson shooters did something like that as well. Oh, look at that. Oh, sure. Like they aren't phallic in any shape or form, right? I mean, at least they changed up on... At least they changed up on how everything looks. Which really does change the difference between Gradius and Salamander. Although this version feels more like, I don't know, more like Abadox more than anything else. And I know what you're wondering, how come we never got any of this as far as the home port was concerned? Well, they felt that Gradius was enough. Salamander being what it is, or as it was called over here as Lifeforce, was pretty much it. You know, it was the same. It was the same thing. You still had the same ship, Vic Viper. And you know, Konami figured, you know, you've seen one, you've seen one. It's like with Rocket Knight Adventures. You had a Rocket Knight Adventures, and then you had Sparkster, and then there was a Rocket Knight Adventures 2. And people will say, "Oh, well, that's Sparksters." And no, there is a game called Rocket Knight Adventures 2. It's like the biggest conundrum since, well, I think every company back in the day had a conundrum of games. Like you have Hudson Soft with you had Hudson Soft with Adventure Island and Wonder Boy. We're going to try to keep the hyper laser. Keyword try. Though you have to admit, for 1996 standards, pretty damn good for what it's worth. Imagine Gradius was just up there with every other shooter back in his day, like R-Type. I think that was the only one that stayed consistent was this and R-Type. I mean, Hudson had a lot of shooters, yes, but I think the only one that stayed constant or tried to be as constant was Star Soldier. But, you know, over time, you know, Hudson really didn't have anything besides Bomberman to keep them afloat. I mean, there are very few people who actually remember such obscure titles like Starship Hector, The Adventure of Dino Ricky, As far as hypers go, yeah, you keep that purple laser for as long as you have it, but for the most part, you're just going to keep this laser for as long as you have it. Oh, lovely. Chaos Emeralds. Chaos Emeralds. Shield. I just find this totally funny. To where I would normally get shot down, but, you know, I'm really just showing the game off. It's a short game for what it's worth, though. Sure. It's one hell of a final boss. Oh, and it's dialogue, it's monologue, it's pretty substandard. Good lord, you can look at the mess on the screen. Just everything being flung out at everywhere and nowhere at the same time. There you go.
I'll take you to hell with
I think I'm good. $21 guess what? That's it. But yeah, that was Salamander 2 for the arcade. Like I said, I'm not sure if there was a home release of this, but if there is, you can bet your sweet bippy you'll know about it. But I think that'll do it for this edition of the Chest of Obscurity. Join me next time when I find something else even more entertaining, as far as this is concerned. So until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, and this was Salamander 2, brought to us by Konami of 1996 for the arcade. I look forward to seeing you next time, and take care. Enjoy the credits. So, yeah, I'll see you next time for more great content on this channel. So, thanks for watching. And have a great and wonderful weekend.